Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Kain and in today's video I'm going to show you the gameplay of a gold Viktor player and how he could actually improve his gameplay. Now if you don't know, I'm a League of Legends player, content creator and coach, and if you're interested in my coaching or seeing me live, feel free to check out my coaching or my Twitch channel. And before we start with this video, leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel and leave your suggestions in the comments. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's take a look here at the gameplay. So we're going to be reviewing, this is actually part of a series actually that I want to do. So I want to do like a series where I'm going to go review the first 10 minutes of people their games on different champions in different ranks. And this time we're going to start here with the Viktor here in Gold Elo. Now first things first, before we start this lane and we talk about the first 10 minutes of the game, let's take a look at the game and let's take a look at the setup. So first things first, so Viktor is going teleport flash, which I think is fine. This is something that you almost 90% of the time want to run, so I'm completely fine with this. However, what I'm a little bit less fine with is the Airy Scorch and then Bone Plating Shield Bash setup into Yasuo. So typically in melee matchups, you could go very aggressive with Airy Scorch and Bone Plating and Shield Bash, which I think is fine. The problem here is in this specific case, we're playing versus a Shaco player, right? And of course, we all know Shacos, they like to gank us early on. So Yasuo Shaco is going to be a high threat of us getting run down, getting ganked all the time. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. So knowing that we're playing versus like the Yasuo Shaco combo, so two champions that are can easily run us down, I would typically not go this aggressive setup, and I would really want to scale my way through this game. Specifically as well, in the bot lane we have a Jinx, so a very weak early game ADC. She skills very well though, so we want to scale this game. We also have a Gwen this game, so which also is a little bit weaker in the early game and she wants to scale towards the late game. So our job this game is really scaling, and then how do we do that? Well, mainly by not playing, basically not playing on the terms of the enemies, which means Shaco likes to get early ganks off and get kills and snowball the game. The same with Yasuo, he likes to snowball the game. We're not going to let them. So then if we go in aggressive setup, we're basically putting ourselves in a position where we say, hey, we want to fist fight Yasuo a lot, but we kind of don't, right? Because they have a very aggressive setup, so we kind of want to scale more. So then this game, if you want to go airy, I think that's fine, but then I would go something like Gathering Storm instead of Scorch, and then rather than Bone Plating, I think Bone Plating is maybe fine, but then rather than Shield Bash, I would go Overgrowth. Or even what I would go probably here is Cosmic Insight with Magical Footwear, or Cosmic Insight with Cashback. Or Cookies even. Maybe Cookies would even be better. So Cosmic Insight Cookies would skill actually pretty well as well. And you could even go, you could even argue here to go First Strike in this game to just permanently scale, and First Strike is also completely fine this game. But it's a bit, it makes a bit more sense to go scaling here rather than aggression. But with that being said, we're going to look at the line. So typically, since they have a Shaco and they have a Yasuo, I wouldn't really want to push up, right? I don't want to push up in this lane because I know I'm going to get ganked and I know I'm going to get run down by the Yasuo. So then I kind of want to hold the wave at my side of the lane here. And since I'm going to be since the game plan is to be on this side of the lane, I don't want to like ward at 230 or at 4 minutes, or I kind of want to ward at 115, you know? Because I know I'm going to be stuck here in this little box here close to my turret. So then I know that I won't really be able to be in a position where I can ward. So I just walk here and at 115 look to place a ward here and get some information on where Shaco starts. Probably is going to be Raptors and Red Buff at the same time, but it could be something else. And at the very least, we know where he's going to start then, and that could be great. Now, so since we play versus Shaco, we don't really want to hard push here, so I'm quickly going to go back here. That was a little bit too fast. But since we play against the Shaco, we don't want to hard push, and also against the Yasuo. Into most melee matchups, you want to slow push wave 1, 2, 3, and then push and then crash into freeze. Into Yasuo and to an Irelia, like those type of champions, there are kind of exceptions to this. Where Yasuo at level 2 becomes very, very strong and he unlocks his dash, so he can actually run us down. Same with Irelia with her EQ combo at level 2. So in those champions, we kind of don't want to push early on. We kind of want to let them push into us and then instantly try to hold the wave here at level 2 and level 3. Rather than first pushing and then letting it bounce. So that's what I would try and go for this game, so I wouldn't really want to push this hard. Because we're instantly starting to do auto attacks here. Yeah, so we're spamming the wave here, which is something I don't like, because now we're going to be pushing into a Yasuo, which is already not ideal. He will be able to run us down level 2. And also considering they have a Shaco, that might gank us here at like 215 or something. But other than that, let's see how this plays out. Yeah, so here we're not bullying him enough, so we could already gotten an auto win. And then, like, we could have done it already, like, 2 seconds earlier, and then we could have right now gotten a Q auto attack off. That's fine. And then here, we do the Q onto the minion, which I don't like, right? I would just go with the auto attack for it, and then use my Q. Even if I were to miss it, I would still try to hold up my Q, because it's my main trading power here at level 1. So then I would look to do the Q onto Yasuo, of course. So we do get the auto attack on him, but not the Q, and it's very important as Viktor that you get both your Q and your empowered auto attack off, because that's how people drain your mana. The way Yasuo survives this lane is by draining out your mana pool, and he does that by tanking some of your damage, but not all of the damage. Like, for example, tanking your Q, projectile, but then not the empowered auto attack, or the other way around. And that way, yes, he's taking some damage, but he will never get in kill threat, and he's actually draining your mana bar. So that's not something you want to do. So you want to kind of keep that in mind. So in here, yeah, we're actively pushing, and we get level 2, and you see, we can't, even though we get level 2, it wouldn't really make sense to like walk up here and start playing super aggressive, because 1, Yasuo is also close to level 2, and 2, Shaco could also just gank us. So it feels very scary in this lane to get like level 2 and then like abuse it and walk up, and, you know, so we can't really do that. So then, in the first place, it would be a little bit smarter to not push this fast and keep the wave a little bit longer on our side of the lane. So starting from this moment, this is where you can see the laning phase becomes a little bit difficult. Like, we don't have any vision, right? Shaco could come at any time. Yasuo has his dash, so he can run us down. So this is where it becomes a little bit more tricky, and you kind of want to avoid this. You kind of want to be here right now, right? Or at the very least, you want to be here with the wave pushing into you, but that's kind of what you want to do. And I feel that's like a big mistake that people make into champions like Yasuo, into champions like Irelia. Okay, we do have the bone plating. So Yasuo is actually pushing back towards us here, which is kind of fine. So now all we have to do is kind of think of holding the wave here as long as possible. And we do that by letting him push, but not letting him get like a very big wave. We need to trim the wave along the way so that we can keep it always like consistently on our side of the lane. That way we're going to create opportunities for our Mumu to gank, and we're also going to be in a safe spot where Shaco can't gank us and where Yasuo can't run us down. Yeah, so there we're actively like hitting the entire wave to hit Yasuo, and that's not good. So typically what you want to do on Viktor is you want to hit the wave and your enemy at the same time so that you use your mana like very efficiently, because you have a like your mana cost on your E is very high. So that's why typically you want to get 2 things done at the same time, so you have enough mana to play the lane and get kills and get wave prio, things like that. The thing is, in these matchups you don't want to hit the wave and Yasuo at the same time, right? Because you want him to push into you so that you're safe. So here, you kind of want to avoid hitting the wave. It's okay to E the Yasuo, but you really need to avoid hitting the wave. Now, ideally, what you would want to do is like, you would try to use your E to last hit the minion and hit Yasuo, but only hit that minion that you need to last hit with the E and no other minions. That way you're last hitting and you're still not hitting the rest of the wave to push, and you're also hitting Yasuo, which is actually the ideal spot here. But of course, that's a lot of ifs. So if you can just like, it's also okay to just E the Yasuo and not hit the minions at all and not last hit minions. That's completely fine. But here you definitely don't want to hit the entire wave. So now we know that Shaco went top lane here, he got a kill, so we know he's going to be in this river here. He's going to be playing top side with these camps being up. So Amumu, we right now know Amumu has 12 CS right in our team, and he's ganking bot side. So the moment Shaco is going to see Amumu come here, we know that Shaco can play for these camps here. So we're going to have to be scary that Shaco is going to be playing on this side of the map right now, so that we don't get ganked from this. That means, 1, I would already start positioning on this side of the map, and of course just try to hold the wave here as long as possible. There as well, like that's where you can easily poke the Yasuo, so whenever he does things like that, he is making the mistakes. It's completely fine to let him make the mistakes. Most Yasuos, they will make those mistakes. So it's completely fine. But then we do have to like punish him for it. So here, pay very careful attention. So here, the moment he auto-attacks here, it's okay to first dodge, walk up. And then I instantly want to do an auto-attack, walk up, Q auto-attack, and then back off, and then maybe hit him with an E on the way out. Yeah, and here you have to be careful. So 1, I don't want to position on this side of the lane. I want to position here, right? And I also don't want to overstep here. So it's okay to just stand back and try to hit him with an E, but don't hit the wave, because you really want him to push into you. Okay, so we take a decent trade with Yasuo, but all of this is very sketchy, right? This is very scary. Yeah, okay, literally, like, Shaco is literally here, which makes it, of course, quite a bit annoying. But this was preventable, right? This was very much preventable. I don't think we need to flash. I think we can easily run out, and we wouldn't have been scared by the box. But again, like, it's a decision call, and it becomes a lot more scary, right? So we knew that he was on this side, so you definitely want to play on this side, and you want to play a bit safe. So yeah, whether we're forced or not doesn't really, like, to flash doesn't really matter, but the fact that we have to deal there with Shaco is kind of our own fault, you know. And now we're getting low on mana, we're in this weird position, we kind of want to hold the wave here as long as possible, so you want to prevent these minions here from getting under your turret, but they already kind of crashed, so we're in a bad spot right now. Yeah, so here at all costs you want to keep these minions, ideally you just want to drag these minions out, but they're already locked in on this minion, so it's going to be difficult. Yeah, so it's good that we're not killing these minions, that's something I like. Okay, we place a ward, that's fine. Okay, so here, like, we're chilling, we're just lost it in the minion wave, that's good. Because the wave is pushing away from us, so we need to build a big wave so that here we're not getting frozen on. But we are in a very bad spot. The wave is pushing away from us, Shaco can just re-gank us at any point in time. Yasuo will be able to run us down because we don't have flash. So we're definitely not in a good spot. So what we want to do here is try to slow push the wave as good as possible. And then when we have a big wave, we want to fast push the next wave, so Yasuo has to hold the big wave that we just pushed for a very long time, which he can't, and then he needs to let it crash. That is our goal here. Right now we are thinking of a recall timing. Because we don't want to be stuck here on the other side of the lane. So last hitting here is completely fine. And then here, look, we're starting to have a big wave. But the problem is, if we start fast pushing this wave here, since it's a cannon wave, it's going to take long, and there will be a risk of our wave getting stuck here then, because the next enemy wave will already be here before we can crash it. So here on this cannon wave, I would try to protect my minion wave so Yasuo can't trim it, right? And I would look to slow push the cannon wave so that we have an even bigger wave. And then on the next wave, which is going to be the non-cannon wave, I would want to fast push it. So Yasuo will have to deal with a very big wave. And we can't fast push it because it will be a non-cannon wave. So we should be able to crash it on the next wave. So that would be the game plan here. So we're kind of lost sitting right now, which is something I like. This E I don't like, because one, if you try to hit people, like, look at the damage, right? So this is 124 damage, and your Q is going to be like 71 plus 96, right? So your Q is actually, like, I'm not a mathematician here, but your Q is going to do more damage if you can hit it onto Yasuo, specifically with Shield Bash as well. So your Q is actually going to deal more damage here, and he's constantly walking up into your Q range, and your Q also costs less mana than your E. This is right now 45 mana, and your E is 80 mana, almost a double of it. So if you want to poke your opponent, you kind of want to do it with your Q. Also, I'm pretty sure your E has like a longer cooldown, 11 seconds to line indeed, so only benefits to hit your Q onto your opponent right now. And then we use it on the cannon, where we should just last hit the cannon with our auto attacks, right? And then we have our mana still up and our Q still up to trade with the Yasuo and protect our wave. Yeah, and now this is very annoying here. So, because now the wave is going to be all the way up here, and now Yasuo can either run us down or Shaco can re-gank us, right? Which is going to be very annoying. Now, we do have a ward on this side of the map. Even though Shaco can be invisible, that would put me in the spot where I would kind of have to lean towards this side of the map here. So I would lean on this side, play it safe, and just try to push this wave in. So just walk up, try to hit an E on the entire wave, right? I'm not really busy about last hitting minions, I'm just trying to push in this wave. So here I would walk up, at all times, keep your W up, right? And then just E the minion wave, the entire wave, try to E it, walk back, wait until you have your E up again, and do that again, and then just try to get out. You really need to shove out this wave here. So here this W, like, I just said, like, don't use your W, and then he uses it, which is kind of annoying, because now we know that Shaco is going to want to come here. We know that he also can run us down now, because we don't have W. So our only self-peel tool, which is already like a very outdated ability in League, now we don't have it available anymore, so it's going to be very difficult here to play the game. So instead we should have just eat the entire wave, wait for the cooldown again, do it again, and then just walk out and recall. Yeah, Shaco is indeed here, so there's not a lot we can do about that. But it's very fine that he's here right now and not when we were doing the W. That's like game changing, so now we don't die. Yeah, here you can just recall and then teleport back. It's completely fine, but the problem is you're sitting at 1k gold right now, right? We're 5 minutes into the game, and you kind of, if you can get Lost Chapter first recall on Viktor, that's really, really huge. So I would greet right now, and yeah, we're low on mana, low on HP because of the mistakes that we made, but I would stay right now, greet, and try and see if I could get my Lost Chapter here. Right? It's like, what, 180 gold more? So I would just try and stay and see if I can get that. So I don't think... Okay, we do cancel the recall actually, which is pretty fine. And now just try to hit as many minions as possible. Don't waste our mana. We need to keep some mana up here, so we can just try to last hit the minions here with auto attacks. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna need a little bit more here. So we're sitting at... Yeah, we need like 70 gold more. So the problem is we don't know if Yasuo has recalled right now or not. So ideally, we just... Like, we're lucky, right? We're 530 wave. We can get level 6 from this. So typically, if this was like the wave pre-level 6, like let's say you wouldn't get level 6 from this, you would be forced to slow push this, wait until Yasuo's back in lane, and then fast push the next wave. Right now, there's a little bit of an exception. We're about to hit level 6 from the 530 cannon wave in the lane. That's always the case if you're not behind XP. So we can actually just kill a minion here, get level 6, ult the entire wave, and we should be fine. But you see, we put ourselves in a bad spot where we had to use ultimate to get out of the situation, right? Which is kind of unfortunate. Now, we do get our base, we can walk to lane here, and then just, we have Lost Chapter. Now, here, look, Yasuo is here, and we are still in base, so we have two options here. We can walk to the lane, and we can also teleport to the lane. Which one is best? Well, it kind of depends on the elo, but in low elo, I would kind of use my, not really use my teleport to match tempo, but kind of just to make my game easier, specifically because we're playing into Shaco Yasuo. I would try to keep my teleport as long as possible because, yeah, we're probably going to be in very awkward situations where we're going to get ganked, where we almost die, we need to teleport back because, yeah, they have such an aggressive combo. So that's why I would want to keep my teleport if I don't have to absolutely use it. Now, do I have to use it? No, because Yasuo's right now in lane. Yes, he's going to shove this wave, but by the time his wave crashes in the third, we should already be back to farm it. So what does Yasuo really get from this, from pushing this wave? He gets tempo. He won't be able to take plates because we're going to be already here to catch the wave. But he will be able to roam. Now, will he be able to roam like top lane? No, not really. She's not there. Will he be able to roam bot lane? Perhaps. But I don't think Yasuo is that great of a roaming champion, specifically if he has no setup. And in his bot lane, he doesn't have a knock-up like, I don't know, a Gragas ultimate or whatever. So he doesn't really have a knock-up, so that's going to make it quite difficult for him to gank. So I'm not really scared of Yasuo roams. If this were a Fizz or a Zed, potentially I would teleport here because I'm a lot more scared of them pushing and then roaming. But since it's a Yasuo, I'm not really scared of his roams. So that means I would just walk to lane and give him some extra tempo to do whatever he wants. Right? It is what it is. Okay. So we teleport back and we place a ward. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a big fan of teleporting back and placing a ward. Right? Specifically not your control ward, because your control ward is 75 gold, and if they clear it, yeah, you just wasted 75 gold. So the problem with this is the fact that we instantly place the ward is right now Yasuo is having prio, right? And we don't know where Shaco is. So right now, look, we're going to get pushed in here because he was already pushing. And now what stops Yasuo from, for example, going into this river and clearing our vision here? Nothing stops him from doing that, right? So knowing that Yasuo had prio, that's typically when you don't want to ward. What you want to do here before you ward is you want to shove out one wave, establish one wave of prio, and then go for like a deep ward like this. But now if you don't have prio and you always get shoved in, there's no point in placing a control ward here. He can just walk there and clear it. Now this is gold, so I'm surprised that we place a control ward here in the first place. So I would also be surprised if Yasuo would go check this for a control ward. But I think then it would be smarter, since we are always getting pressured here and we can never really push against Shaco Yasuo. I would typically place this control ward a little bit safer. So I would also place it on this side of the map because one, my jungler is here and dragon is up. So I would kind of want to play on this side of the map right now. So what I would do here is I would look to shove out one wave or clear one wave, move, and then potentially place like a trinket in here, yellow trinket or yellow trinket here, and then place a control ward in here. And that way, even though they have prio, they're typically not going to be able to clear my control ward as fast as possible because it will be on my side of the map, which is still a bit scary for Shaco to invade. So that's something I would do here. So the vision control here doesn't really make sense in my opinion right now. It's like we place Vision because, like, yeah, it's a thing, it's a concept in League, but we don't really know why or when or where. Now, yeah, we can't ever push in this lane because, yeah, we don't know where Yasuo is, so he can always just come back and run us down. So we always have to keep this wave on our side of the lane, which is completely fine. Don't feel bad if this happens in your game, guys. Completely fine, because we're looking to scale for free, right? We're Viktor. We just want to farm and scale for free. That's our job. So if Yasuo pushes here into us, that's really good. We can just hold the wave here. Now, I feel like we can push it, like we're full mana and we're never using like an E onto the Yasuo, so I wouldn't try to hit the wave, but you can do it like E like this, for example. I would try to hit him and not the wave, because again, I want to keep the wave here. So I feel like we can constantly bully him, and we're not using our mana right now. We're full mana and we're not using our spells. Here again, those are constant E angles and even Q angles, right? It's completely okay to walk up here and do Q, because he can't really run us down. He can EQ, but like with our Q shield, we will literally outtrade him, and specifically with shield bash and bone plating as well. So like here, we're never Qing him, we're never Eing him. So I feel like we can definitely punish him here, and if we constantly punish him, he will get low, which will give us kill angles. Okay. So we're using constantly our spells on the wave here, where I feel like we can definitely use some spells on the Yasuo. Okay. So here just hit E, so rather than like try to punish the Yasuo as much as possible, try to get him low, punish him for like constantly walking up. It's not because it's a Yasuo that he's allowed to constantly walk up, right? It might feel that way sometimes, but it isn't, so. Okay, and I also noticed that we always place a very like superficial vision, so very close to us vision, right? Which is lazy vision, that's what I call it. And the problem with lazy vision is it typically doesn't really help that much, specifically against Shaco as well. Shaco is a champion who can go invisible. So typically Shaco knows that this area here is warded, so he's typically already going to go invisible here and try to gank you. Which would be a lot better is to take a little bit more time, place your ward here, for example. Then if Shaco comes from here or here, that's when you will see him. And then if he goes invisible, at least you saw that he went invisible. So it would do a little bit more for you. Right now we have like fake safety. Here again, we don't want to E onto the Yasuo when he jumps at us, we want to Q. Whenever our opponent comes in a range where if we trade with them, they can trade back on us, we always want to Q first and then E. Because that way we first block their damage, and then we can also deal some damage back to them. So you always want to Q when there's a threat of you getting hit. Like here as well, for example, if you think you're going to get hit by this Q, you can just Q this minion here, and then block his Q damage with your shield damage, for example. So we definitely want to play around that shield, and that gives you a lot of sustain. So here here we could just W. I feel like if we literally just W, there's no counterplay for Yasuo here. We're very close to our turret. Nothing could happen here. So if we just W, we're just very, very, very safe. And we can do like an all-in combo onto Yasuo. And this is something that many people in the lower elos, they don't really understand, is that you don't always need to all-in enemies when you have a kill angle onto them. Right? We typically, like, specifically when you play like against good players, you will very rarely have like a very good all-in combos or opportunities onto your opponents. So then typically when you finally get one of those angles, you just do your full combo, right? Just to get pressure off in the lane, just to give yourself some breathing room, force the enemy to recall. Now you can take plates or shove out the wave and get yourself out of prison, right? You can recall, spend some gold, things like that. So here as well, when Yasuo is constantly like walking up, just blast your full combo into him. Whether you kill him or not doesn't really matter. If you get him like really low, he's just forced to go out of lane. We can farm, push out the wave, take a plate or something, but we give ourselves some breathing room. We have to punish the Yasuo here for doing ridiculous things like this. It's not allowed, you know. So then we do our W quite a bit too late, so that's an issue. That's a mechanical mistake, of course. Based on wave mechanics, I think we're doing decently fine. Well, we're not doing that fine, but the thing is we're lucky with Yasuo. He's kind of helping us with these wave mechanics. He's also pushing when he shouldn't, which makes it a lot easier for us, and he kind of fixes our mistakes for us sometimes. So here again, what stops us from just Eing the Yasuo, right? Of course, try to not hit minions, but like try to hit them like this, right? So yeah, I'm definitely looking for those plays. Like here again, like just Q. If he walks in Q range here, just Q him. Q auto attack, right? So we constantly want to bully the Yasuo. We constantly want to bully him. It's not allowed what he's doing. Okay, we finally hit an E onto him. Yeah, Q ult. Here we can literally just Q ult, right? It's completely fine. Right? We can literally just punish him for being here and get him low so he can push out the wave. Okay, we literally ult, so that's pretty good. Yeah, and look, now he's forced to flash. I don't think he was forced to flash, but at least he did flash, so we put pressure onto him. And now he was low, whether he flashed or not, he's low, and now we have Priam in the lane. We can shift this out, we can help Amumu, we can recall. We're kind of out of prison right now. We give ourselves a moment to breathe on the map. Now we see Shaco on the map, so we do have to be a bit careful here. Okay. Yeah, so here you want to shove out the next wave. It's completely fine to walk up. Don't necessarily know what we're doing. So we're faking that we're here, so Yasuo maybe starts pushing, which I think is fine because Amumu can come, perhaps, and we can collapse him, but I don't feel like it's necessary. The problem here is what you could do, for example, is like we could just be here and pressure him from pushing in anyway. If we stop him from pushing in, would be a lot better. Because then maybe we can freeze the wave, or maybe we can just kill him, right? So he's so low that we don't have to do this. You have to do things like this when you're really scared of Shaco ganking you, or when you're really scared of your opponent who's just stronger than you, and you really like want to surprise them, like getting another wave. But he's not that stronger than us. He's right now a lot lower than us, and that makes him a lot weaker than us. So I feel like, yeah, we don't have to do this. I feel like this gank was perfectly viable with also being here. But it's fine, so it works, right? If it works, it works. It's not a bad play, right? If it works, I always say if it works, it's fine. You kind of need to fix the plays typically more that don't work than the ones that work. It doesn't always mean that if you make a play and it works, that therefore it's good. But at the very least, it worked in this elo, right? We have to really fix the mistakes that don't work even in this elo, and that's what's going to make you climb first and foremost. But then, okay, yeah, we look to shove out this wave. And then here, okay, so I kind of wanted to end the review here, but I'm going to talk about one last thing here, because here we should instantly recall. Right? We should instantly recall. Because here, realistically, at this fight, can we do a lot? Well, we don't have our ultimate yet, right? So we won't be able to do a lot, and also we are sitting at 1.7k gold. So do we want to fight right now? If we go here and a big fight breaks out, do we want to fight here? No, that's not really what we want to do. We are sitting at 1.7k gold. So instead, we should really recall here and play when we're strong. Wait until we're out of base with our items and then look to fight. What my teammates do here, I don't really care. Specifically in lower elos, you can just ignore all of this and fight when you are strong. You're not strong right now. You don't have ult and you're sitting on 1.7k gold. Wait until you recall, wait until you spend your gold, wait until you have your ultimate, then look to fight. That's a very good guideline, specifically in the lower elo bracket. Now, with that being said, I also have another issue. Yasuo is already on the map. He's already coming back to lane. We're still needing to recall and we don't have teleport. This means we are behind on tempo. And the longer we stay on the map, the more we are behind on tempo. Now, to explain this, let's say we go for the dragon, we help, and then afterwards we recall. By the time that we are recalling, Yasuo is already pushing out waves. So while we're in base spending gold and walking back to lane, Yasuo is taking half our turret plates. Or maybe he's roaming and getting a kill top lane, or maybe he's getting a double kill bot lane, or maybe he's invading your jungler, etc. But we're giving a lot of time for Yasuo to do whatever he wants because we need to recall. We cannot match a Yasuo right now with our current gold, right? We're way too behind. And then here this fight, yeah, we don't want to fight this, right? We don't want to fight this, we're not strong. And then our team loses this fight actually. It's like kind of even, but we also kind of lose because enemy Heimer didn't get your shut down. So it's not ideal. It's not ideal, this fight. And yeah, I don't want to fight there because again, I don't have my ultimate. I don't have my gold spent, things like that. So now we fight on our teammates' terms, but I want to fight on my terms, right? Once you get to high elos, sometimes you're going to have to adapt, but in lower elos, it's very important that you first start trying to play your own game and then adapt to your teammates, because your teammates are not on a level where you should really respect them and play around them. Once you climb a little bit higher, that's going to change. But for now, play more around yourself, I would say, here for people who do similar mistakes. And now look, we're recalling, but Yasuo is already in lane. So while we're walking to the lane here, Yasuo can just shove this out and he can do whatever he wants. While we're walking, does he take plates? Does he roam top lane? Does he go bot lane? Does he invade your jungle? He can do whatever he wants. And that's the problem with overstaying on the play when the enemy laner is already walking to lane. You typically want to match their tempo at the very least. And if possible, recall before them. That will give you tempo. So you see now Yasuo takes all these plates, so not only did they win the fight, but they also, now you lost like a plate to Yasuo, which doesn't really feel good. Now that's the first 10-11 minutes of the game, so I'm gonna call it a review here, because this is part of a series where I don't want to make too long videos, I just want to review the first 10 minutes of a game. That's exactly what we did. So hopefully this helps for the people who are in this elo who play Viktor or maybe mages in general. This hopefully helps a lot. Now thank you guys for watching, hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Feel free to leave a like on this video and subscribe, and leave your suggestions in the comments down below. Thanks for watching,